Hello, and welcome to my standout decks of 2022. It's still January, come on, I'm allowed. It just took me a while to not so much get organized. I think the decks presented themselves pretty easily. It was, when I thought about doing this video, I was thinking, well, I know in my heart why these were standout decks this past year, but I'm not sure I'm going to be able to articulate for the benefit of the viewing audience why that is the case. So this might just pretty much be a show and not much tell, but I wanted to give it a go. So that was a cool idea. I've never done it before. You know, done one of these year-end reviews of what decks I was using and how I felt about them, why I was using them as much as I was. And I wanted to do it because the other ones I've seen have been really fun and interesting. The decks I have here, as it happens, I acquired all of them in 2022. I've been using other decks quite a lot, but they're decks that I've been using quite a lot for, you know, a year, 2 years perhaps. So they're not gonna get a mention here. These are the ones that just arrived in my life, and I'm glad they did last year. So they are, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tarots and 1 oracle, and really I sort of brought the 1 oracle in because I felt a bit bad from my little oracle department that nothing really made the cut. I'm not much of an oracle user, you know. For myself, maybe once in a blue moon, but more often than not, there's a tarot sitting right next to me, and I'll just grab that. So that happens. But, and this is the really funny thing. Rebecca Campbell's Work Your Light Oracle cards. Now, I am not a work your light sort of person. I am not a light worker, in my opinion, by any stretch of the imagination. And this is exactly the sort of deck that I have just sort of ignored as not my cup of tea for quite some time. And then I saw somebody using it, and I can't remember who it was, but they used it as a follow-up to tarot readings, which is also something I don't generally do. I don't pull an oracle card at the end of a tarot reading. But when they were doing it, and they were sort of showing, you know, casual examples of it, I suddenly thought to myself, actually, that would be really useful, especially for those more difficult readings where you've kind of left the person feeling like, oh, yeah, and you want something to lift them up a little bit, give them something to aim for, give them a little bit of, you know, cosmic support. And this deck actually looked pretty good in that respect. And I have used it a few times, and I have actually found it quite helpful. Anyway, let's take the cover off. I imagine this is one of those ones that everybody's seen. Aren't those backs pretty? I mean, I do like the backs, and the cardstock is gorge. Really gorge. Put those out of the way. You know, and they provide a little sort of footnote, bit of advice, bit of support, nice, yeah, how can I explain it? Comfortingly colored bit of tchotchke at the end of your reading to, you know, to kind of hang on to. Yeah, so I really do quite like this. I don't think I would use it to actually read for somebody, but it has found a place, and I do quite like it. Even the art, which I would have, you know, said is not my style. So, no, it's nice. It's good. So that is my standout oracle deck. That's that. And the tarots I'm going to bring out in sort of chronological order when I actually acquired them. And the first one, excuse me, as always, I still have this trouble with my throat, is the Magic Tarot. And this is published by Fournier. And again, cute backs. And it's just cute. It's really cute. But it's readable. It actually reads really quite well. And what I like is the different imagery and the color, because I always like color. But the slightly different imagery, slightly different things that you can pick up in the cards that you wouldn't normally see in your standard. I mean, look at the Queen. I mean, wonderful. I love that. 3 of Swords, bit different. Quite fun. I've had fun sort of tarot plus intuitively reading these cards. And yeah, and the colors, really, the colors. But yeah, this has worked well for me. And that's my main criteria, is that it actually works. I can actually get some sensible readings out of it. I don't just pull a card and look at it and go, what the... Although, you might with that one. Anyway, lovely. Oh, and bright yellow. Love me some bright yellow. So I don't think I'll edge it though. Because I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think this one needs it. Next one, and again, this is one that I wouldn't have thought I liked. And I saw, what is her name? Owlmoon 413, something like that. And I can't remember. I can't remember her real name. It starts with an A. Anyway, forgive me. You'll all know who she is. One of her students, friends, I don't know, had recommended this deck to her, and she absolutely was besotted with it. And when I saw her go through it, I thought to myself, again, not my style, but there is something about it I really, really like. I didn't say the title, but you can all read it there. This is the Heavenly Bloom Tarot deck by Noah Ikeda. So there you go. Oops, knocking things over. I mean, that's a beautiful page of cups. And I have found this one really useful for readings for people that I think are going to need, let's move you out of the way, a more gentle touch. It's also really good for relationship readings, I found. I think because there's people in every card doing all kinds of things. I'll just make sure I'm in frame here. I love it. That's an interesting hanged. It's a beautiful hanged man. Yeah. Yeah. Really, really love this deck. So beautiful in its way. Yeah. Very happy with this one. Been very useful. Comes out quite a bit when I'm reading for others. Yeah, nice one. Happy with that. I said not a, oh, and look at the rose pink gilding on that. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it. Yeah, I go from, sort of weird extremes. Well, and here's an example. So now from that one, we go to, again, backs to die for. Excuse me. Tarot Droga. I'm not going to try the name. Polish. And Droga stands for path or road. And you'll see in a minute where that comes into this one. And there's a little sort of fold out in Polish that comes with it that I have been translating. Spending my time translating that. That's really fun. Thank you, Google Translate. Thank you, these things that can read text. Well, read images and convert it to text. That's been really helpful. So yeah, a very different look now to something very dark. But really emotive, really gorgeous. In actual fact, you can see the images actually better on screen than you can in real life. They are really quite dark. You need good light to read this one. But what I like about, well, there's several things I like about this one. One thing I like about it is that it has this golden path running through all the trumps, which connects them. And sometimes that can play a part in a reading if things sort of line up. There's another one. Let's have a look. There's a few more. So you get sort of like that going together or what have you, or those two end up in a spread somewhere like that. That's quite fun. The other thing I love about it is that the borders are not card borders. They are part of the image. So elements in the image actually extend out into the borders in some cases. And that's really fun when that comes up in a reading. I had a really good one the other day. Excuse me again. Let me just see if I can. I'm going to put you on pause because this is boring. Hang on a second. I'm back. That also gave me a moment to have a swig of water and hopefully clear my throat. Right. I got these two cards in a reading the other day. And it just, at first I didn't sort of see it in this card. But then when this card appeared, suddenly I got this image of these two wands suddenly springing up, shooting up like a trampoline, and firing this other wand clear out of the card. And, it was significant for the reading. That said something that a 2 of wands and a 3 of wands in any other deck probably wouldn't have said to me. But that was just such a good image that I thought, wow, that's really important there. I love that. That's the kind of little details I like. Yes, and as you can see, it is a pip deck. Don't care. It's gorgeous. Next deck. The Barbara Walker Tarot in a Tin. I wouldn't mind having a full-size Barbara Walker, but I like that this doesn't have all the verbiage at the bottom that the the other one does, you know, all the different languages and what have you. This is a bit cleaner in that respect. This has been a very interesting deck. What can I say about this deck? This deck is hard, but not in a nasty way. I can't explain it. It's like I get like really challenging cards from this deck. I don't think I'm going to be using this for anybody else but me, because they'd run away screaming. And I at first was a bit like, oh wow, really? Is that what you're saying to me? Ouch. Bit mean. But when I actually look into it, look into the titles, read a bit about, you know, what Barbara Walker's take is on the card, and sit with it for a bit, it's actually really quite insightful and helpful. And if I can just get over the slap in the face, I get some really useful readings for myself out of this. This is a really good shadow work deck in that respect, and I am enjoying it thoroughly, and I am very, very glad to have it in my collection. And I can thank Erin of Fox Fleur Creek for inspiring me to actually get it, because I'm really, really glad to have this in my collection. This is a very, this is a wow. Enough. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I love it. I'm really pleased with it. Don't expect to see it on my Instagram or anything like that, unless I have such a good tale to tell about how it's called me out on something. And finally, this one actually isn't in chronological order, but this is sort of my #1 standout deck for 2022. Sorry, cat hairs. Yeah, we're looking after a cat at the moment. He goes back home on Sunday, him and his white fur. Not all of it, unfortunately. Some of it will be here for a while. But anyway, yeah, this deck is my #1 standout deck for the year. Outgrow Yourself, Oracle, and Tarot by Linda Spoman. I'm sort of shoving everything up the side there. Hopefully I've got some room. Again, backs to die for. Yellow, black, love it. I've edged this one in black. Oh, I edged the Tarot Droga in black as well. I mean, black on the front, black on the back. You know, just makes sense. This, it's tote based, so it's got the usual totey type titles, names, wherever they are, at the bottom, but then it also has little sort of oracular phrases at the top, and the artwork. Who doesn't like spotty, hairy, naked women? Really? You know, there you go. Look. What you allow will continue. Indolence. Yeah. Harvest and Manifest. This deck, sorry, it's probably over here somewhere. This is my go-to for me deck at the moment. This sits out constantly with me. I take it to bed with me, not in bed obviously, but it sits on my bedside table. When I get up in the morning, it comes down and it sits on my footstool, where I sit for, you know, most of the day. Yeah, if I'm not running around. I can't. This deck is absolutely amazing. This deck gets me in the same way that the Barbara Walker gets me, but is a bit harder about it. This deck is a bit, I won't say it's soft. It's not soft, but it's, I don't know, it's almost more like, how can I explain it? Like another, it's more personal. It's like another person who is holding my hand, looking me in the eye and saying, it's like this, hon, you know, and, you know, you need to grow out of it. What is keeping you caged? Blossom. I love it. I love it. I love the people in it. I love the person, if you can put it that way, that this deck is. Yeah, couldn't be happier. This is absolutely my favorite deck this year, and I think that will continue. Well, yeah, last year and into this year. Wonderful, wonderful deck. Wouldn't be without it. Yeah. yeah, I mean, I'm looking around at all the others. Yeah, definitely would not be. I would have to sacrifice, I think, pretty much all of the others if it came to it, just to keep this one deck. Yeah, that's it. Standout decks of 2022. I wonder if I will do the same thing again at the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Hopefully, a bit sooner. I've got a few more decks coming at the moment. I've had a couple, nothing really stand out. Last year was a bonanza year as far as that goes. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm happy. If I never get another knock my socks off deck, I've got absolutely nothing to complain about. I'm good. Yeah, that's it. Hope you're all well. Hope to see you out there. Hope you enjoyed this video. I'll talk to you later. Bye.